Hello everyone, this is Shiny Noctowls, and today I figured it'd be nice to stream some more Final Fantasy 13 for you guys, or 13-2 rather. Figured it'd be nice to do. See if I can get everything set up. Let's see, here we go.
Guests of yours, Director? Watch your step in there.
Thank you.
Isn't the Academy a research institute? Why do you need so many soldiers? Without the Fal'Cie around, we have to be...
You've been cleared. Head on through.
Things have happened.
After meeting with me again, hope seems lost in memories. What should we talk about?
Hope, do you still think my sister is trapped inside that crystal pillar?
I always had doubts, and it wasn't just me. Saz had them as well.
Really? Saz too?
Yes. He couldn't believe that lightning would just up and leave Sarah like that. After all, she was the one who said we shouldn't face things alone, that we should stick together.
Something here, Kupo!
Oh, here we go.
Giddy up.
Kupo! Kupo! Kupo!
A great many things have happened.
After meeting with me again, hope seems lost in memories. What should we talk about?
I wonder how Saz and Little Dodge are doing.
We've been out of touch. Saz took Dodge to live on Grand Pulse, and he was flying airships the last I heard. Then suddenly they both disappeared. I searched everywhere but never found them.
Look at us. All gone our separate ways.
Yes. And I can't tell you how much it means to have you here now. Saz and Snow may have set off on different paths, but I've started to think that, in the end, we're all headed towards the same goal.
You know, I wish you'd said where and when you were from the last time we met.
A great many things have happened.
Well, I guess we're supposed to go through all the dialogues, right? What's Snow?
So, Hope, have you heard anything from Snow?
Nothing, I'm sorry to say. Not a single word. Not since he left on his mission.
No sign of him for 10 whole years? Sounds like we're not the only ones traveling through time.
You might be right. Considering Snow's uncanny ability to find trouble, he's almost certainly aware of these temporal aberrations. A great many things have happened.
What about the ruins?
This is some kind of ancient city, right?
The city of Padra, or so we believe. It was the center of a great kingdom built by a nation known as the Farseers.
The Farseers? You're telling me there used to be enough of them to build this entire town?
According to our research, we believe they constituted an entire nation. A polity that was ruled by a Cirrus.
see me now? Standing here in this place?
So this nation, Hadra? Their leader was a Cirrus, right?
Yes. The Cirrus would read the fates, see the future, and guide her country.
Yule.
Any records of their culture or lifestyles?
This place is off limits to the public. Even authorized personnel need a permit for access.
Alright guys, I'm gonna be back for a wee bit. I'm just gonna do something to my canisters that I drink water out of. Sometimes I like to clean them a wee bit. And I'll be back. In a moment. Let me produce that. Let's... Oops, sorry. I'm back. I just had to use the restroom for a wee bit and clean my water canisters. Now it's better.
Here.
Thanks.
You've traveled through time. I suppose it's not surprising you know about these things. The power to rule was passed down from one Cirrus to the next. She was always called Yule.
If they could read time, why did they die out? Surely they could see the danger coming and do something to avoid it.
No, they were destroyed because they could see the future.
Why?
The Cirrus Yule foresaw the future destruction of this city. Some citizens wanted to try to avert the disaster. Others felt that they should simply abandon their homes and run. A few fell into despair and took their own lives. The divided populace clashed. The nation was torn apart by civil war.
Being able to see the future is awfully dangerous. It can mess with people's heads.
Tell me about it. The nation fell apart, and the survivors fled into the wildlands, avoiding contact with others.
Huh. So you know the story.
Oh! Come on, Director Hope! I want to show them! It's okay to show them, isn't it?
This way. Here. This is what lies at the heart of our paradox. The Oracle Drive. We've been giving it careful study.
But how did you...
Wait. You know of these devices?
Oh, well, yeah. I've heard of them. In books and stuff.
The Oracle Drive appears to be some kind of recording apparatus from ancient times. We've excavated a number of the devices. However, the recordings depict things that cannot be possible. Perhaps you should see for yourselves.
This is how it works.
The device was excavated from an ancient part of the ruins. We used carbon dating methods to determine age. The device and the recording stored within are several centuries old.
But it shows lightning.
Someone in the past recorded this vision of the future. Perhaps it was the Cirrus Yule herself. What we're concerned about, however, is this. You'll have to excuse the image quality. Yes, I think so. We need to conduct further analysis to be certain.
Is it broken?
No. We've tested both device and data, and everything is nominal. Yet, when we try to view the recording, we get this. Perhaps it's not the recording that's broken. It's the immediate space-time in which we are located.
You mean it could be the paradox? Because the surrounding space-time is twisted, that might be directly affecting the device. So, if the paradox is eliminated, space-time will return to normal. Then we could see the prophecy and find out where my sister is.
Yes, I believe so.
Right.
Here.
An artifact.
This object serves as a key, is that right? We tried to make it work ourselves, but with no success.
Yeah, we can use that to travel across time.
Then you may have it. I think it'll be far more useful to you than us. Here.
During the years that passed as we traveled outside time and space, Hope had devoted himself to his research, trying to unlock the mystery of the paradox. If the gates are the cause of the puzzle, they might also be the key to unlocking it. But I wonder, am I getting closer? Will I find lightning in the end?
Time to find that gate.
It was in the ruins.
Keep this to yourself, but we're working on a method that will let us travel into the future.
Can't you just use the gates?
A method that doesn't require any special abilities like you guys have. In a powerful gravitational field, the flow of time slows down. You could go to sleep for a day, and outside 100 years would pass. It should be possible to build a device to exploit that effect.
If you pull it off, maybe we'll meet in another era.
You understand why I wanted to show you the Oracle Drive?
I think I do. You've been looking for lightning too all this time.
Yes, it's not much of a clue, but I thought you should see it all the same. And I wanted you to see how far we've come.
Hope has been analyzing the Oracle Drive and the images that appear to be lightning. What should I ask?
Hope, have you ever heard of Valhalla?
I've seen the name in the Padron texts we recovered. A forgotten region, I think.
Was there anything more? That's the place where Noel met lightning.
I'm sorry. We've only been able to decode fragments. The only other thing we've found is a reference to some invisible or unseen realm.
Search for the gates.
I'm collecting parts for my computer terminal. If you've got any, I'd be happy to buy them from you. What I really want to get my hands on is the battery used for one of the older models, like the kind they used on Cocoon. It wasn't a very popular model, so the parts are scarce. I saw it in a store window once.
Right. Sound good. Let's see. The oh, sorry, I always butcher that. The Gonna try to say it. Yashcha's Mashtif, it's an AF excavation worker who enjoys collecting retro electronic gadgets. There's a particular battery model from 10 years ago that he'd love to get his hands on. Although it no longer exists in this time, such an item might have been sucked into a space-time vortex. And so Mog would be just the people
Really?
to find
You'll
it.
help me try and find the battery? It might be an impossible task. I already called every store in the book with no luck. But if you say you can get your hands on it, I'll believe you. Thanks for doing this. You want to know what I'll be using it for? I'm a collector. I want to get my hands on all the retro electronics I can.
Alright, let's see where the old battery model is. Behind some crates near the area where he previously spoke with the tech block from 10 AF. Some crates. Getting them, there's like a tent.
Turn a blind eye and they're already slacking up.
Oh, is it over there? Hey Roey, glad you could join the stream. Sorry I didn't notify the Discord earlier. I just figured I wanted to play a little bit on my own to see if anyone was still going to come, but I figured I just would give an extra reminder, you know, just in
Everyone
case
seems so restless.
you guys were sidetracked with anything else. So not wrong with that, by the way.
Will this help with the
yeah.
paradox investigation?
I'm doing alright. It's still been hot today, but I think it's starting to cool off a little bit. It's a bit cloudier today, and it's kind of nice because it helps ward off a bit of the heat. I also sold a lot of Pokemon cards today, actually on my eBay store, which is nice. I'm going to be delivering that later, and dropping it off after the stream probably.
I wonder what's going to happen to Cocoon.
The Academy is becoming more and more influential.
Hope the weather has been better there in the UK for you guys, or in England, or whichever part. I know sometimes when I say UK, sometimes I say England, and I knew someone.
This incident could soon be forgotten.
I'm trying to think. She was from Wales, but she was living in London, and she said it's interchangeable.
My
But
baby gets so lonely all by himself.
I'm so tired from work, but the weather has been so much better. Yeah, well, that's good to hear.
If only the paradox would get resolved.
How can we be sure that?
Well, I hope you're getting some rest, by the way, Rory. I know work of any kind
When
can
you
be
watch
tough
your
at
step,
times.
don't you end up hitting
Are they
Whether
allowed to be on their own?
working for yourself or you're working for another business, so that makes sense.
The area is secure.
Let me see if I can find these crates.
I hope he's behaving
If not, I'll
himself at home.
look later. Oh, I wanted to tell you, by the way, Rory, because I was talking to Mafia about it a little bit. That I had a friend from Wales named Remy, and I think I mentioned
Why am I always falling
to you
over
guys
things?
before that she was the one who kind of considered me brethren, at least in her own words. That I reminded her of her dad. And so I found out that I was related to this Belgic tribe called the Belgic Soissonnes, and they had lived in, I think, France and Belgium. They're like a mix of Celtic and Germanic. But it seems like they were connected to like a Belgic tribe also named Remy. So maybe my friend Remy from Wales is also related to that Belgic tribe. Maybe that's one reason why she felt that connection with me. And then my Scottish-Australian friend Josephine, she looked very similar to like a red-haired Gallo-Celtic
When
woman
you
from
watch your
France.
step, don't you end up hitting your head on
that-
something?
Yeah, that was related to like the modern-day people
filled
of
with
Spanish
mistakes.
Galicia and Portugal, which is like northwest
Another
Spain.
day, filled
And then
with
Portugal
mistakes.
is a little bit south of
I
that.
hope there aren't any casualties.
And I know a lot of Scottish people in particular, like Scottish with like Celtic ancestry, that feel a connection to Galicia and also the Portugal.
My baby gets
I actually
so lonely
watched
all by
someone
himself.
named
hope there aren't
Shortbread
any casualties.
ASMR. She's a Scottish ASMRist, and she spent like I think a few weeks in Portugal, and she thought she went into paradise. I'm glad she had a good time there. So, you know, I know in Britain and Ireland there's a lot of different ethnic groups, you know, and I'm starting to learn that more
When
and
you
more.
watch your step, don't you
Even with RPG. Well, I know he says he's not ethnically Irish. I think he says he's ethnically Norwegian, which I have a bit of that too in my ancestry, but Anyways, he said that he considers himself Irish because he was raised by Irish. And then they took him in, allegedly, because of his red hair, which I thought was kind of funny.
I'm looking to obtain the battery of the older model. It's been 10...
Okay, yeah. Maybe we'll focus on that a little bit later. Let's see. Yeah, no, so it's kind of cool to, like, learn about all the different groups of people and things like that. But I think even my dad's wife learned about that, too, because she thought she was just Anglo-Saxon white, which I think she believes is, like... the main ethnic group in the UK, specifically in England. Then she found out she had a lot of Celtic in her. I don't know how she felt about that. I also know she wasn't too happy at first about the Vikings, because she's like, I'm not related to those people. And then I told her, well, it seems like you got some Viking Danish in you. So, I'm sorry to say that. Well, I don't know if I'm sorry, but I was trying to tell her, you know, you're more than just Anglo-Saxon, so... I mean, it is part of you, sure, but there's other parts to you too. So, yeah. Let me see if I can. Okay. Oh yeah, I was searching for the gate. Okay. Yeah, like like there's a lot to it for sure. I mean, I've learned a lot myself. I didn't realize I was related to all these different Celtic tribes from France and Belgium, and it was really used to be called Gaul before it was called France. Because I think France, it was named France when the Franks had medieval ages. But yeah, no, I had like a ton of them. So it's quite interesting. But it makes sense now to me, because I always felt like my dad looked a little bit similar to some of the people in Wales and in Cornwall. And maybe that's why Remy told me. I think his closest ethnic group to like Britain and Ireland, I think was Wales. So I guess it makes sense now. But on the test it'll say he's 30% Irish, or 20 to 30% Irish and 7% Norwegian, so that's kind of interesting. And then he also has native Japanese American ancestry. I showed Mafi that my great grandma looked very much like a modern day Japanese woman from my dad's side, my dad's maternal side. And she agreed with that. So if you're interested in looking at that, I can show it to you. But yeah, I had a good time when I went to Japan. And I know a lot of people sometimes are weary to go to Japan because, you know, they hear the term about, you know, gaijin and how the Japanese view foreigners, but they treated me very well, and I wouldn't mind going back there. Even though I spoke broken Japanese, they were... I got invited with a Japanese family to eat food with them in a Tokyo sushi bar, so that was great.
Here, this must be the gate Hope was talking about.
Maybe.
I mean, of course, you know, they'll try their best to also speak English, but they really appreciate when you speak Japanese. I went to, or when did I go? Years ago. It was probably 7, 8 years ago or something.
Sure.
Long time.
But it's just personal stuff.
It was great though. I went to Tokyo, Kyoto, and I think even Osaka, and I went to the Pokemon centers too. And I even helped like I think a grandmother and her grandchild, because I think her grandchild was disabled, and I tried helping her grandchild to find Pokemon cards, and then she told me in English, you know, thank you, because I know I watched this YouTuber called Mr. Japan, and they say, you know, why don't the Japanese, you know, change anything when it comes to foreigners, because they don't speak English. But she spoke English, you know, she said thank you, so in English. And, you know, and you know, she didn't have like, you know, she spoke it crisp, like very crisp. So I think it's more than a language problem. I think when the Japanese say they don't speak English, I think it's more than just they don't know how to speak the language. I think it's deeper than that. I think the Japanese are very much into kind of, in some ways they almost remind me of the Native Americans, because they do share like an East Asian ancestry, like that they are Like they try to see who you are as a person, and I think if they like who you are as a person, then they kind of open up to you. It's more than just like, can you speak the language or not? I think it's more like it's almost like they can feel your energy and they can say, okay, I'll talk to him or I won't talk to him. That's what I noticed with them. Yeah, and I think some of the Native Americans are kind of like that too. It's very intertwined in some cases. Though I know some Native Americans feel also more connected to Hawaiians and things like that. I never been to Hawaii, but my dad and his partner Julie did, and they had a good time there. Noel seems troubled about something. He says it's personal. How should I respond? Um,
Is it about the Cirrus?
That's right. Nice guess.
It must be so strange to be able to see beyond your own present.
That reminds me of something Lightning told me. She said that from Valhalla, you can see all of history.
If that's true, then the Padre Cirrus and Lightning have seen the same things. Which means Lightning already knows what's going to happen to us.
Love the music.
Something had been bothering Noel. And it had been ever since we heard the story about the Padre Cirrus Yule. But, of course, he wasn't the only one who was troubled. Was it really lightning I saw in the flickering images of the prophecy? The only way to find out is to go through this portal and solve the paradox.
Oh, is there another puzzle? Or, let's see here. Oh. Oh, okay then. Maybe... I'm kind of thinking here. Let's make... Wait, let's go back and see if there's anything else we've missed, just real quick. Yeah, I know, like, again, I want to go back to Japan, I just don't know when. Ooh, you might love this, but there was a Japanese elder named Kinko Ito. She was interviewing the native, or some of the indigenous natives of Japan, known as the Ainu. The Japanese, or I know some people think they're like carbon copies of each other, but they are also a mix of different groups. They have like the indigenous Jomon people, which have been there before the end of the ice, or even before the end of the Ice Age. Then they had people who came from China and Korea, known as the Yayoi, who came around 2,500 years ago. Though, and I think it's also on the paternal side too. I think the maternal lineage between Yayoi and Jomon, part of it was shared though ever since even before the Ice Age, through like an East Asian maternal lineage. But anyways, she told me in perfect Spanish, and she actually reminded me a bit of my dad, because my dad will always say he's European and East Asian, and he is. At first I questioned him a bit, but after a while I understood it. And she told me in perfect Spanish, she said, si puedes hablar español, puedes hablar japonés, or what that means. If you can speak Spanish, you can speak Japanese. Because I think the phonetic sounds are very similar, how you pronounce words in Japanese and Spanish. And that was very heartwarming that she spoke perfect Spanish, like very crisp. One thing I know about the Japanese, like when they, at least in my opinion, when they usually have spoken to me in English or Spanish, it's usually fairly crisp. Like they're just and that's why like when people say Japanese don't speak English, I think part of it is true, but part of it's also not true. I think it's to me that's code for we don't speak English because you're an asshole. That's what I think when they say that. But if you're a decent person, then they might speak English or Spanish or whatever other language. But that's what I feel when they say that. I mean, the Japanese are really intelligent people. I mean, there's a reason why they've been able to make all these games. So, and other things. But I mean, I'm sure some of them actually don't know, but I'm sure a good amount at least know something, you know. But anyways, yeah, no, like, you know, I've just learned so much from Japan, and also a lot from the Native Americans too. Just kind of that shared ancestry, kind of learning from both. And it's really opened my field of vision a bit more, just kind of exploring these different cultures. But yeah, I've always felt a connection to Japan. Sometimes it feels like a second home when I go there, even though I'm not fully Japanese, you know. It is, you know, part of me, technically. Like on a test, if you go far enough, I think it'll say like I'm like, because like the Native Americans, even though they're predominantly like Asian, part of their ancestry is related to like ancient North Eurasian, which is like steppe ancestry. But if you strip away, I'm not trying to strip it away intentionally, but if you strip away the steppe ancestry, then you're left with the East Asian ancestry, and then that's why we'll go from like 15-16% native to like 12% Japanese. So it makes sense now. Like I can kind of picture it a bit better. I guess it's kind of like you know, in England, you know, if you had I don't know, like a Chinese person and an English person get married, and of course that offspring or that descendant, either the sons and daughters, will have English ancestry, but they'll also still have that original Chinese ancestry too. So it kind of makes me think of that a little bit. So, but yeah, let's see if I can find anything else. And that's the thing too with East Asia. Like I know a lot of people tend to put Japan, China, Korea all into one bucket, but they're actually more different than people think. Like I think the Chinese tend to be a little bit louder. The Koreans, I don't know how to really view them, because I mean I've seen them. I think they're a little bit more, because I think the Japanese tend to be more forgiving, while the Koreans tend to hold on to grudges a bit more. But I think out of the three, like, I think Japan, well, they tend to be introverted, which, you know, kind of connects with me. Even though I've tried to be more social as of late, which is why I opened the Discord. Why I also try to actively get people to also watch the YouTube streams if they wish to. And I remember when I was in Japan, they have these signs that say, you know, don't yell when you're in the train. Which I don't think is a bad thing, because I know, like, in Japan, they work long hours, and most people on the subway, you'll see a lot of people sleeping. So I can see why they have that. I mean, you can still talk in there, of course, but... hold on. Let me see, Wolfie. Give me a sec. I have Discord partially muted, and I only have that just because I don't want all the... You know how Discord has those notifications, and you know every time you get a message, well, that's why I kind of, you know, worked on it a little bit. But yeah, let me see here. Sorry, Muffy. Yeah, I don't want Moffy to say, you know, why hasn't Jem responded to me in the last 10 minutes, you know? Again, like, I look at Discord now and again, of course, but I sometimes also, you know, get into the game as well. But yeah, no, like, if you guys, like want to make sure I get the message immediately, you guys can always just at me, I guess. Yeah, that's what I told you. Why I told you yesterday, Rowie, and also Mafia. I'm like the melting pot because in the U.S. people tend to say the U.S. is a melting pot. Now, how much that's actually true is debatable. But the thing with me is usually like my dad's wife or Anglo-Saxon wife, whatever. She's more than that, of course. Thankfully, don't want to be inbred, but she you know, she would tell me, you know, when you say something, you're usually good at doing it. Yeah, I'm surprised you've never ever heard that term. Maybe they don't mention that that much when they talk about America. Maybe in the UK or England. But yeah, at least here, you know, at times you'll hear about the melting pot that is the US. Maybe it's just not spoken about as much as England. Or maybe you guys are too focused on Donald Trump and whatever he's, or the Orange Man, as some people call him, whatever he's saying. You guys kind of forget. Which I'm sorry, you know, if you guys have to go through that. It's not something that it's not something that I would want you guys have to, you know, to have a sole representation of, rather. Ugh. And it's kind of tough, you know, when it comes to all that as well, but there's a reason, you know, why we have democracy and why sometimes we end up choosing a different path eventually. So it's not always a bad thing.
We should illuminate this place with lights like we did on Cocoon. That way the whole area would be bright.
You know, the reason why I'm laughing, Rowie, is because, you know, even here in the US, you know, I think I still surprise people. Well, I think part of it's, of course, the accent, you know, and again, this is just how I normally talk. It's not like I don't force it. It's just it comes up naturally. Some people, they kind of struggle understanding it. But the best way I can say it is kind of like how
the investigation is over, and it would be like.
So that means even if it is.
Yeah, it's kind of like how some German Americans, you know, still keep their German accent, you know, even after years of living here. So, or Italians, you know, like if you've ever heard of an Italian accent. So, honestly, I don't really know the origin of the American accent, to be honest, or what people perceive an American accent to be. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, oh, I will tell you, you might find this funny, Broly. I have an Irish, an Irish-American friend. She says she's Irish. She said, oh yeah, my mother on her test, she got 8% Irish. And then she said she had 40% Irish and some other ancestry. And I'll kid you not, she'll, I can't do the British English accent. Like, she'll, you probably might be able to do it. My dad's wife can't do it either, even though she says she's Anglo-Saxon and all that. But she'll tell her partner, Lewis, she'll say, I can't do it. I'll try, but she'll say, Lewis, can you get me a bottle of water? I feel bad that I'll try to say it in British English and it'll come out like Scottish or something else. But you probably know what it is. Yeah, if she was here, she could do it. But yeah, okay. I'll just say it's how I would say it in maybe like what you might think of a Scottish accent is like, Lewis, can you get me a bottle of water? Or like something like that. But she does it perfectly. You know what it is, Rowie. I'm sure you know what it is. And why do I question this? Because she says I'm Irish, and then she pulls out British English, and it's like, okay, you know, how Irish are you actually? I mean, it's not a bad thing. I mean, she could be Irish and English, but then she says, well, I'm becoming the people I hate. And I'm like, well, maybe you are actually those people. I mean, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It's like you say you're Irish until you're blue in the face, and then you pull out British English. So it's not bad. I just poke fun at her because I mean I can't really do it. I try, but then I end up sounding like Scottish or something else, you know. You know, even Jill Sett from the Scottish ASMR, she tried to do it too, and she's really struggled. So, but no, I find it funny, and I don't know if you find it funny, but I was like, well, for how Irish you are, you definitely sound English to me. you know, or British really, but it's funny. That's the thing here in the Americas, in the US, it's like, people are fine to claim, I'm Scottish, I'm Irish, I'm Welsh, but when it comes to English, it's like, I mean, aside from my dad's wife, most people don't want to say they're English. I have no problems with that. If you're English, you're English, you know. or if you're not full English, at least if you're part of it, you know, that's fine too. Like, I don't know, but I think the only problem I have is with people saying, well, I'm Irish, but you're not Irish, or I'm Scottish, but you're not Scottish, and I'm like, well, first off, you fuck. You know, if you went to Scotland and Ireland, and you told them, well, I don't like that Celtic accent, you probably wouldn't come out pretty well. No, but see, okay, again, Rowie, I have no problems with people claiming they're English. I really don't. The only problem I have is when people here claim, okay, I'm Irish, I'm Scottish, and then they're like, okay, I'm that, but you're not, and you can't speak with that Celtic accent. And I say, well, good luck in Scotland and Ireland. You know? That's all I gotta tell them. Or maybe even good luck in England, I don't know. You know, I just... I think you guys might be able to handle it better than I can, so... But, you know, it's okay. I honestly, you know, if someone says they're English and they, you know, that's something they feel connected to, like my dad's wife, even though she can't do the British English accent, I'm fine with that. I think here it's like, I think people see, it's like they see Irish and Scottish as like, I don't know. They try to say, look at me, I'm Irish and Scottish. But somehow I'm not really that, or I don't know how to say it. It's kind of weird, you know. Maybe it'd be better to let the Irish and Scottish also have an idea, have a stab at it. But yeah, it's just really odd to me. I think the only person I've heard that, you know, that they don't really complain about as much, like, is,
we don't go down easy.
Kind of like the Welsh. Like, I think, you know, I've never heard, well, I don't know, it's kind of weird, because, like, my friend Ben, you know, he's a Welsh American, and he and I got along great. I guess it kind of helps that his mom recently came from Wales, like, she was born there, and she emigrated to the US. I know my dad's wife will also try to say that she's part Welsh. She might be. But I feel like when you know the Welsh, you know the Welsh. There's just something about them that you just kind of know, you know. I think the other thing here is a lot of people do say they're also German here. Nothing wrong with that either. I think my Uncle Herman's definitely part German because it's literally in his name. And of course other things as well, but yeah. And then the Italians, again, as I think I've told you before, I think when someone says Italian, they usually know they're Italian. So. I will say, like, my dad's partner, you know, has also been a good friend. When we talk about Scotland, she'll say Nova Scotia, or she'll say Nova Scotia, and then she actually does it all right, you know. I always kind of found that neat. But I did tell her in Scotland they don't say I don't like how they say yeah, like some people and Nova Scotia means New Scotland, that's what it means. Because Scotia is another way to say Scotland, and Nova is Neo. I think it's really Latin actually, and yeah, it's Latin, I think. And what else? I'll get to the next area soon. I guess I'm just training a little bit more here before I keep going. Okay. So there was something that a lot of people here, or some people here in the States do, and the same thing even with my dad's partner. I don't like this pronunciation because it's not really my cup of tea, but some people will say, like, I don't like saying it. It's like Edinburgh or just saying that. I like saying Edinburgh, like Edinburgh, like how they say it. But I think even the English get mad at that too. You know? Yeah. What? So it's kind of interesting how that works. I don't know if you ever heard of that before. Yeah, Edinburgh. Yeah, see, like, you know, because, like, for example, like my dad's partner, like, I think she'll say, aside from being Scottish and English, really, like, she'll also say, like, she's German. Because a lot of German immigrants also came here to the States. So that's the only other reason why I think people say, I know how to say it, I just don't like saying it. I just like saying Edinburgh. But yeah, it's funny. Yeah. Okay, let's go. I guess we'll probably go to the next area now. Okay.
Grand Pulse, a land that bears the scars of ancient war, where flakes of crystal gather and shift like sand in the desert. The Academy has restricted access to this place because it is the homeland of the two heroines who turned to crystal and held Cocoon safe in the sky. It is a land that now, 200 years later, has been swallowed into a rift between time and space.
I'm honestly impressed with people who can do a British English accent. I mean, of course, people in England who do it makes sense because, you know, they were born and raised there. But especially here, like in the States, when people can do it, that's even more impressive. Yeah, I love Urba. Urba was actually one of my favorites places in the original Final Fantasy 13, the first game. And I actually did a edit for it if you want to watch. If you haven't yet. Oh, this is 200 years in the future.
The world is falling apart.
Is this a future where everything has been destroyed? Or is it a distant past before the world has even come into being?
Space-time is doubled and twisted on itself.
I'm glad to hear.
The past and future are tangled together as one, Kupo.
Paradox is affecting space-time itself.
Right. And we have to find out what's causing this. Okay.
Whoever it was that created the paradoxes, did they really want an empty, dead world?
In a world abandoned by the foul sea, the ones who are left behind craved nothingness, an empty world.
Where did you hear that?
It's just an old fairy tale.
Goodbye.
It's like a maze. A crossroads within the paradox itself.
In this space-time, the past and future intersect. I bet if we solve all these puzzles, we could dissolve the current paradox.
All right.
Now you're thinking, Kupo.
Oh yeah. Rowie. No, I'm thinking. I want to tell you this, but I kind of don't because even to me it's horrible. But I don't know. I hope that this is not exaggerated, but I don't know if you and Mafi saw that video where it says when an American visits England or the UK or whatever, and she was mentioning all the different places she wanted to visit in England. One of them was Plymouth. I think that's how you pronounce it, Plymouth. Also, I think they have a place here in the U.S. called Plymouth Rock. But I think instead of saying Plymouth, she said, ugh, I don't like that. She said like ugh. It's horrible. I don't want to say it. But she said like Plymouth or ugh. It's like, it's almost as bad as Edinburgh. Ugh. When I say it, it's like I could see why the English woman was like so like disgusted. And it's worse too because like isn't this part of your ancestry? Shouldn't you know? But I don't know. Maybe she has something else also there. I don't know. To escape this temporal rift, you must restore the bonds between crystals of the same shape and color. You press and hold A. Okay, no, I think we've done this before already, haven't we? Yeah, hopefully it's exaggerated, but part of me is telling me this has actually happened before. You press and hold A when on a tile that holds a crystal. A shining line will be drawn along your subsequent path. Simply move the crystal the same shape and color to connect them. The shape and color of the crystals will continuously change, so careful timing is essential once all the crystals have been connected to exit through the portal to connect your journey. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's just I mean, I'm technically an American in the sense that I was born here, but it's just so, even I find it weird. I don't know. I guess we're all different, Oh, connect the crystals, okay. Okay, so... Okay, I might need to look at this. I'm probably gonna need to do this again. Oh, is this your first time doing it as well? Let's see. Okay, so wait, so... Oh, wait. I think I get it now. I think... Wait, is that not doing it? There's something I'm missing. Oh, wait, hold on. Because A... I'm trying to remember. No, A is X, right? Yeah, no, A is X. Okay. Oh, wow. I didn't know that, actually. Okay, let me look this up. Okay, stepping on a crystal, holding the action button A, and then moving to another crystal. Oh, you have to hold the button. Okay. Oh, let's see. Oh, okay, so that's how you do it. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take a... Hopefully this can get me out of it. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, let's try this again. Oh, there should be...
It's like a maze. Across.
Okay, let me get the... Okay. Okay, so then do I have to... Oh, okay, I get it now. That, and then... Oh, okay, I think I see it now. Okay. So this Where's it? Don't worry, we'll get it next time. It's like a 6 there. Oh, it should have worked. Oh, does it have to? Oh, wait. Oh, I got it. Or did I get it? I think so. Okay, we got it. We pushed through it, which is good.
You deserve a treat.
I'm still thinking of my friend Joe. Like he's saying, I'm Native American Apache, Korean, and then I'm Jewish, and then I'm Irish, and then I'm English, and I'm Scottish and German straight. He's a great friend, though. I just can't have a laugh sometimes. Right, let's see. There's Power Chain. Love the music here. Oh, you might find this interesting, Roey, but I know on Muffy's Discord profile it says "wanna be that auntie," and that's what this my most Scottish Australian friend Josephine said. She said, "I'm his auntie," and so when I saw Muffy had that, I kind of laughed because that's what Josephine had.
Yeah! How's this?
Yeah. My friend calls me auntie. Oh, nice. I want to ask you, because I know Moffy mentioned it yesterday, but how many tourists do you generally get from the US? Do you get like a lot that usually comes to the UK or England, or is it just every now and then? Because you know, I don't know if like you see people from the US every day, or if it's just like every now and then kind of thing. Or I don't know if like you can always tell either. I'm sure you guys probably can.
Here.
I don't think I've ever actually. Oh, okay. So maybe, or maybe it depends on the area too. Maybe the area you live in, maybe they don't come through was fun. I don't know if it's more so mainly in the major cities, like in London, or I've heard a lot of things about people in the US going to Dublin and Ireland. I don't know about Cardiff, Wales.
Time to die.
Makes sense. I mean, hey, it's not always a bad thing. But it depends, you know, if you like tourists. I know in Japan it's kind of hit or miss. Here. I think in Japan they've had I don't think it's they don't like tourists. I just think it's more so like I guess the mentality really. Because I think in Japan people are leaving like trash everywhere, and I think Tokyo and Kyoto and the locals have gotten a bit upset, which makes sense. Because I know it's their home. And I also don't know if you've seen this YouTuber. Oh, this reminds me of the area from 13. Well, this is her, but there he is. I don't know if you've heard this guy called Johnny Somali, about him going to Japan and South Korea and causing trouble. He's not from the UK, by the way, he's from here, but yeah, it's, and I don't know why specifically they do it in East Asian countries like Japan and South Korea. I think a guy from Denmark said if he tried to do it over in Denmark, like, he wouldn't come out alright. Okay, well it's probably better that you don't. I mean, you can look them up if you want, but you're not losing anything if you don't. It's just... I feel bad for the Japanese and South Koreans sometimes. You know, they're pretty hospitable people, you know, at least in my opinion. I mean, I haven't been to South Korea, but in Japan at least, they were very, very accommodating. Even speaking broken Japanese, very, very accommodating. So, I don't know how far that would get me in Paris speaking broken French, but at least in Japan,
too easy.
I got a family to invite me to eat with them. So. I think there was one guy, I don't remember his name, I think he was from the UK. I don't know if you've seen it, like he threw a snowball at a person in Japan. But that's the only thing I remember from that guy. I don't remember his name though.
Nice timing. Here.
Here we go. I think in Japan they've had to start putting signs because people were dancing in the subway, like break dancing, and they were like, they had to put signs, you know, you can't break dance in the subway. Which I think it's so weird, but anyways, like it's so weird that people do that.
Scared yet?
go.
You got it! You're mine!
Is that it?
There we go. I remember this area, that's where we found the... Yeah, like I think in Japan they do allow people to street dance. Like I've even seen like Japanese, I think girls in particular street dancing, like in I think like in Tokyo and stuff. I just think they just don't want you street dancing in the subway, like people are sleeping like after work. I mean, to me it makes sense, but I don't know. But no, I think they're fine like if you do it out on the streets, like in an area, because I've seen Japanese girls do it. I think they call it J-pop, kind of like how in Korea they have K-pop.
Is that it?
I'm sure you've heard of it before, but if you haven't, it's like kind of a musical art form in Korea and Japan. There's our little friend. Too bad we can't talk to him. But still alive and well. Yeah. Yeah, I will tell you, in Japan, they have great, oh, he's still here, yeah. I'm sure you probably already noticed that in Japan they have pretty good quality food that you can get at a decent price, whether you want to spend at $100 at a high-end restaurant, or $4 just for ramen and some fish and miso soup. It's pretty good. I don't know how the prices are now, but remember that's how it was when I was there. Kind of want to get raised eventually, in case if I ever run out of Phoenix Downs, but... Yeah! No, I think the benefit with Japan is, since I live kind of like closer to the West Coast, since I live closer to the west coast of like the US, it's a little bit easier to get there. It's still kind of a long trip because it's like 10 hours even from like Washington or California or Oregon, I think, to Japan, but it's worth it, believe me, it's worth it. Yeah, and I was telling Coffee, and I think you probably heard it yesterday too, that I've been to Europe before. It's been a while, but I have been to Italy. I went to Rome and Florence, and I have been to England before, or UK, Britain, but specifically England. I went to London. But if I go back to Europe, I'm trying to think of what places I would want to visit, because Spain would be nice, you know, visiting Galicia, northwest Spain, maybe Aragon in northeast Spain, maybe Wales, or different parts of England, or Ireland, or Scotland. Then maybe Greece, you know. Maybe potentially Normandy in France, or other areas. There's a lot of different places in Europe. That's the thing too. It's like I think there's over like 50 different countries in Europe, so it's really a lot to see for sure.
Take that! How's this? You're mine.
I think that's one of... Oh! I hope you have a good time in Greece. Yeah, the one thing I like about Greece is the history. Like, glad to hear. Yeah, yeah. I was telling Mafia I have some ancestries related to like if you go back to like the Trojans and like the Spartans and you know, the Mycenaean Greeks. I have a bit of ancestry related to them. You know, going back probably over 3,000 years. So, but yeah, Greece has a lot of history for sure.
Scared yet? How's this?
And I think I don't know if I told you guys that I had a Serbian. I don't know if you know much about Serbia, but it's like a country in the Balkans. And I think he was like a German immigrant, but like he was born in Serbia. And he told me, you have Serbian blood because you like mayonnaise. And it made me think of like the SpongeBob episode when like Patrick is like his mayonnaise an instrument. And Squidward is like, mayonnaise is not an instrument. Horseradish is not an instrument either. So I found that funny. I think I have like some ancestral matches from Serbia, but it's like for Slavic people, or what they call Slavic or Skeloveni is I think what also Greeks would say. But yeah, no, it was kind of funny. It's like, you like mayonnaise, you know, you're one of us, and I'm like, oh thanks, like. It's not a bad thing. I mean, mayonnaise is great, but I don't know, Broy. Maybe if you told him you like mayonnaise, maybe he'll say you have Serbian blood too. You know? Maybe he'll invite you to a Serbian cookout or something. I just kind of found it funny.
Too easy.
Oh, another place I wouldn't mind visiting is Norway as well, because I think I told you guys, my dad, his name is Siggy, and his dad's name was Siggy, and that goes back to the Volsung saga with Sigurd and the Dragon Fafnir. So, and every time I watch video on from Norway, even though I never met my dad's dad, or my grandfather from my dad's side, I sometimes see a bit of like Bjorn, or vice versa. So.
Looks like we lost.
But see, this is another reason why I watch videos too, because I know traveling costs a lot of money. That's why I also kind of, you know, watch YouTube videos in different places, because it's another way of traveling as well, or at least getting information beforehand. So I think I was kind of fortunate that my mom would, when I lived with her, would invite me to travel with her, because it saved a lot of money for sure. Definitely worth it, most definitely.
You're mine.
Alright, no worries.
Meeting like this is fate. Won't you buy a little something to remember me by?
See ya. See. Let's see here. Oh shit.
Everyone comes to me to stock up on their time-traveling goods.
See ya! Good work, everyone!
There we go. See ya. See. Oh, this is oh, I must have to, probably have to solve another puzzle there.
That's it!
There we go. Got him. Oh.
On to the next.
Welcome back. Appreciate the like, whoever left it. We'll have to see. I don't know. I might be able to think of something. Honestly, I've just been busy on with YouTube and eBay at the moment. But maybe eventually I'll think of another idea. I'm glad you enjoyed the content, by the way. It means a lot to me. I felt like that if it could at least connect with someone, and that's the important thing. So. Also makes me think of that episode from SpongeBob when Patrick's like, the people have spoken. It's great.
Good work.
And I think that's another reason why, like, with Patreon, at first when I released that content, I had like a monthly subscription kind of a thing. But then I just changed it to just donations because I figured, you know, it's better that way. That, yeah, I just have it there. Like, if people want to read it, they can, and if people also want to donate to that or to the YouTube content, then they're more than able to as well. So yeah, I prefer doing it like that. But you know, like it. But no, I'm glad you enjoyed the content. It means a lot to me.
Looks like we lost.
Yeah, part of the content was inspired as well because you know, I told you I was a pagan or spiritual, and I think Mafia asked me that, and part of it was also inspired by like Celtic folklore. Like, I don't know if you've heard much about the Irish goddess Morrigan, but part of it was inspired from that as well. Kind of like how in this game, they take inspirations from like Odin and Petra. So it was partially inspired. But no, I'm glad you liked it.
Scared yet?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't, kind of, the Irish goddess, or the Celtic goddess Morrigan, I'll see if I can write her name down, for you. I didn't, like, explicitly, like, say her name, because, again, like, you know, at the end of the day, like, Alice, is her own character, but, I just took, you know, I took some inspiration at least, you know, from some of the themes from Morrigan. You know, like self-sovereignty and things of that nature. So. I think that's partially due what like inspired me, to have Alice like with dark hair and brown eyes. Because Morrigan is generally depicted as that. Well, sometimes she has blue eyes as well, but generally she has dark hair and at times brown eyes as well. So. But yeah, she's more like. Well, one of the regions would be Ireland. There would probably be a connection to Gaul as well, because that would be the connection to the Celts. So France, and then maybe even Spain too. But yeah, I don't think she's that popular in Britain. Yeah. Yeah, my Uncle Herman calls her Mother Morrigan. Sometimes I will talk about her. And that's why, like, you know, I consider myself a pagan, because, like, you know, for example, you know, like for Bjorn, like, he connects a lot with Odin, and that's, like, you know, his, you know, that's one of the gods he connects with. But for me, with Morrigan, it was more like, I didn't choose her, she chose me. That's how I learned about her. So it's kind of funny how that works. And then I learned about my Celtic ancestry, or including Irish, but you know, of course, more than Irish. But and I only say that because when it comes to Ireland, sometimes it can be like a good connection, but other times with some Irish, it can be tough sometimes because you know there are some Irish that they want to be Irish and only Irish, and I just don't think like that. So, but no, I have. You know, I have connected a lot with Morrigan and things like that, so that's been great. But I think that's another reason why I say Celtic too, because I mean I could say I'm part Irish, but I'm definitely more than just Irish, and I'm glad about that. I'm glad, you know, because some people can get a little bit too extreme about that. I don't know if the same thing happens in England as well or in Britain, but I think I've heard some things about Scotland, but yeah, no, definitely. I think that's one reason why, you know, Josephine, my Scottish Australian friend, she said, you know, you're more than just Irish, you know, you're also connected to me. And so that's when I started getting more of a wider perspective on things, rather than just, okay, only Irish, you know, no, the Celtic world is more than just Ireland. You know, you have Scotland, Wales, even England, you know, there were Celts there, there still are. France and all the other, Spain, Switzerland, all the other places, so yeah, it can be tough sometimes, it can be tough, but I did speak to someone from Ireland once, and he told me, you know, even though he poked fun at me, he said, you know, it's not prairie, you know, we say field, not prairie, but he eventually said, you know, you can come over when you want. I want to draw fan art of Alice, but I haven't drawn in so long, and I'm so bad at drawing people. Well, you can try if you'd like. I wouldn't mind that. Actually, I think it'd be cool to see how you view her. But yeah, I thought Alice was a good name for her, because even though like Morrigan is Irish, I also felt like she wanted to be depicted almost like as being like part French, like maybe French, North Italian, maybe even part Spanish. So that's kind of like the idea I had in my head that, you know, if she was a living person, she'd probably be like part Irish, French, North Italian, maybe even some Egyptian or Spanish. It's very multifaceted, so. And I'm glad I wrote her the way I did. I think that's how she wanted to be written, if that makes sense. Yeah, it definitely is. And I think that's one thing I try to tell Mafi as well, because Mafi said, well, like, I know you say you're Celtic, but aren't you genetically closest to the Spanish? And I would say, yes, to an extent, but I'm also pretty pretty close to the Dutch and to the French and to the Belgium, and even got some Irish in me. I got all these different people in me, so it's like saying, it's like you talk to a person that's Chinese and English and say, okay, well, aren't you genetically closest to Chinese? They would say, yes, but I'm also English. I don't know. I'm more multifaceted than that, obviously, but that's the only example I can really think of. I think even here in the States, I feel like the Asians are always pretty good knowing who they are. Like, you know, if they're Japanese American, they usually know that, or Chinese American, or even if they mix with other people, they still know who they are. So, and of course, in addition. And actually, my mother, she actually knows how to speak French a little bit, because I think she went to a French boarding school. I don't know if all that experience was good, but I guess the good that came out of it was, she enjoys speaking French, and I know she's been to France a couple times, I think, so. But yeah, I feel like the... Okay, here we go. Let me see if I can solve this. Oh boy, this is gonna be a little bit tough, isn't it? I'm gonna try here. I might have to take another snippet, because this is... I feel like the people that have tended to be the most accepting, at least, like when I tell them, like, regarding how I feel about my ancestry, tend to be... Well, I told you about Josephine, who's Scottish. I've told you about Remy, who's Welsh. I think Irish Americans, you know, like my friend Dolly, who's Irish and French, you know, she kind of, she understands it. I also knew someone that was, I don't know if she identified as Irish, but she felt like she was Irish in a past life. And, you know, she also could understand it. But yeah, no, like, I think, it just kind of depends. But I think that's always, I don't know if that's always been the case, but it's, yeah. Maybe that's one reason why the Morrigan, why she came to me, or Alice, you know, to just try to help me out, kind of move past, move through that, you know, because, and, of course it's always good to meet new people, so, it's it's interesting. I'll give it that. I mean, and technically, you know, I do have Irish ancestry. Like, at least it's just partly so. I've just kind of heard stories, like in the U.S. Like, I don't know if you know this guy. Like, I think he's a comedian named Conan. I gotta take a snippet of this. But I think with him, like, he's like 100% Irish, which, you know, I think he thinks it's a good thing, but, you know, you have to be careful with that, because you don't want to be inbred. I think the problem with him was, I think, like, his family members, they interbreeded with each other. So yeah, it's just kind of one of those things, but yeah, no, like, you know, I've always, well, not always, but again, I feel like there's a reason why the Morrigan came to me, and of course, then I wrote about Alice. and it's been a good thing. It's been a good thing. I just wish, you know, sometimes, you know, some of the Irish that are currently living would be a little bit more open-minded, I guess. But it's okay. It happens. I think one thing with Ireland, and I think this is why Alice wanted me to write her as she did, is I think in Ireland people have this idea, or some people have this idea in Ireland that, no, it's, well, a lot of people think most people in Ireland have red hair, and, well, it's partially true. I mean, I have red hair in my beard, but I think they tend to sometimes get this narrow idea of what it means to be Irish. Like, they'll say, well, you know, you don't look this way, so you're not Irish, but, you know, people who look Irish can obviously look very different. You know, like people in England, people in Scotland, Wales. But I always feel like it's been more of a problem in Ireland. I don't know why. But I don't know if you've met many Irish people in where you live in England, but yeah, I've always, I don't know why that's been a problem, but yeah. Let me see if I can get this button. I appreciate you hearing me out, by the way, Roey. Sometimes it's a bit tough to talk about, but I'm glad I can share it with you, because, you know, my close friend in school was half Irish. Oh wow. Yeah, so I don't know if you know much about that, but you know, but I know you live in Britain, so you're not too far away from Ireland. It was really nice. You played the guitar. Oh, nice. That's good to hear. But, yeah. Yeah, thank you. And again, it's been more of a problem with Ireland, I think, than all the other countries. And some people call it the Celtic Isles, but of course I know Britain's also, you know, people like to also like it to be called Britain. But yeah, I think eventually even some of the Irish that I've struggled with in the past, they'll understand me better. I just think, I don't know what it is. I wish I could tell you, but at least, you know, the Morgan and Alice, you know, it's been a good thing. It's been a good thing. So it's been good to expand my horizons, as it were, and to not just, you know, get tunnel visioned. That's the best way I can say it. Okay, this is gonna take a little while, but we'll get it. No, I can think of something in my mind, like, you know, maybe some people in Ireland will be like, I'll never visit Britain, I'll never go there, and I'm like, well, you're missing out. You know, you could learn a lot, you know, from the Welsh. You could learn a lot from the Scottish. You could even learn a lot from the English. You know, we're not all perfect, but you just only stay there, and you don't, you know, even meet your neighbors. You could lose a lot. So, and that's why I was telling you about my friend Ben, about how he's always been a really good friend, and I told him a bit about Morgan, and I don't know if I told him about Alice, but I told him a bit about that. And what Ben told me is, you know, don't let people try to tell you who you are. You know, if you are who you are, then that's who you are. he's always just kind of been there for me. That's why I've always kind of appreciated, you know, him as a friend. And he's just always been good company, you know. And of course I told Josephine as well about Morrigan. And then she said, you know, isn't that the Queen Witch of Ireland? And I said, yeah, but she's also a goddess, you know. But no, she knew about Morrigan as well, which is cool. Yeah, no, he's great, and that's why, you know, that's the thing too. Like if I ever talk to other Irish Americans or other Irish, and they would say, well, I'm not going to talk to that Welshman because, you know, he's part of the British, man. And they're like, well, you're missing something, you fuck. You know? And you're probably more related to him than you think, you know, because the Celts, you know, we all have like a shared ancestry, you know, whether, you know, people want to deny it or not, you know, or accept it or not, rather. Yeah, that was something I had another friend from Wales too named Barry. She kind of echoed something similarly that and I feel bad about it. I mean, I know, like, I wasn't born and raised in Ireland, this life journey, but she told me about the IRA. When she was young, they went to Wales and they did some kind of not so nice things to, you know, to the property over there. And I felt bad, you know, I really did. But I hope in time, I hope in time things can change. It's just, it's tough to talk about, but I know it's also good, important to talk about too, because that's how things change. And I could feel it just because, like, I also considered Barry as a good friend. And she would say, you know, we're brethren. Kind of like Remy, but yeah. It's almost kind of like if you see, like, a good friend hurting another good friend of yours. It's like, you know, it's like you might not like it, and that's how I kind of felt, so. And that's why, like, the guy I told you from Ireland, even though he told me, you know, you can come to Ireland, you know, whenever you like, he also was like, you know, you're not Irish, you'll never be Irish, you know. And I'm like, well, it's part of my ancestry, whether you like it or not, but there's more to me, obviously. And, you know. But that's a good thing, that's a good thing. You know, we shouldn't just always just only be one thing, of course. And hopefully he can see that eventually. But I'm glad, you know, the Morrigan's been there for me. Of course, Alice. Yeah, it's tough. And that's why, like, I wanted to see what you guys think too, because, you know, you guys also live in the Isles, you know, it's not like the Irish, you know, are the only ones who live in the Isles, you know. Wales is not that far, England's not that far, Scotland's not that far, so that's why I want to see what you guys think. Because if he's telling me, you know, you'll never be Irish, you'll never be Celtic, and then Remy's like, you know, you're my brother, or Josephine, Scottish Josephine's like, I'm his auntie, then, you know, he probably has this idea that, you know, that Celtic to him is only his, whatever version of Irish he thinks it is, which obviously is, you know, probably not the entire truth, but, and so that's why it's kind of been hard for me, because, like, sometimes I do want to visit Ireland, but sometimes too it's kind of like, it depends. I know not every person in Ireland's like that, of course. There's great people in Ireland that I've spoken to. But there are those people that they just, all they can see is Ireland and nothing else. It's a shame. like it almost makes me think of like the term ethnostate. I don't like that term, but yeah, I just tell him you're missing out on the hospitality of the Welsh. You're missing out on the laughter of the Scottish, and you're also missing out on the some of the elegance of even the English as well. I know that's one thing my dad's wife would say, that when she would go to my grandma's house, that's my mum's mum, that she would always feel it would be like a bit British because of the way she would arrange the plates and everything. So, and again, they may not want to hear that. They may want to say, well, you know, that's okay. That's okay. You know, we can't. You know, sometimes we just gotta lead by example. You know, that's the best. Okay, I think I almost got this puzzle. Shoot. Let's see. Yeah, I just try to lead by example, and if I can be a good example, then that's already a good thing. Well, I'm not Irish, so I'm not sure if I'm allowed to comment, but I would agree with Ben. That part of your ancestry can't be removed, and if you're comfortable identifying with that, no one can tell you otherwise. Yeah, like, of course it's not all of me, but it is part of me. Like, for example, for my dad, the DNA test would show up as 30% Irish, and then for me it's like 10%. But it's still part of it. I mean, I'm not 100%, but I don't want to be 100% Irish. Because then I would lose everything else. I would lose the Spanish, I'd lose the even part of the Norse, I'd lose the Greek, I'd lose the French, I'd lose Alice, you know. I'd lose a lot of things that make me who I am. So, you know. So if they think being 100% Irish is the best thing since sliced bread, then all more power to them. But don't cry to me if you get inbred like the Mormons and you start getting sick. And then you're like, you should, you know, we should always lead with love. Why push people away because it's stupid? Yeah. And again, I think it's more with them because I mean I know Scotland has had its own problems too, but I don't think it's anywhere near the same level. And you know, and again on my dad's DNA test, I think Wales was one of his closest groups anyways. So I mean, so he probably has some Welsh in him. So you know, what are they gonna do? They're gonna say, you know, well, we're gonna try to fight all the Welsh. That's probably not gonna go well for you. And of course the Welsh, you know, have their own history too with the Mabinogi and King Arthur, and I know sometimes England and Wales, you know, fight about, you know, who was the originator of King Arthur, but yeah, I know, like, you know, there is that shared history, you know, and that's one reason why I like RuneScape as well, because they talk about that, and yeah. And that's why I was trying to tell Mafi that a lot of the Celtic ancestry I have too was even before the Celts were starting to separate. Because like P Celtic and Q Celtic was like I think Q Celtic's like Irish, Manx, and Scottish, and then P is like Breton, Welsh, and yeah, that. So I guess like in England and Wales. And in northwest France, that I had a lot of Celtic ancestry before the separation, so I technically am related to both. And now I know some people don't want to accept that. They might say, well, you know, they might try to argue about that, but yeah, like, and that's why, like, again, I'm glad I've done more research on that, because knowing that I'm related to people that were there before the separation, you know, it's also good too. And yeah. But yeah, no, like it's good to know that, you know, to come back together is a good thing. Yeah. It's maybe in time it will change more and more. I think hopefully when people get more educated, they'll start to see the truth of it better. So. Let's see. Okay, I think I almost got it. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Close. Yeah, but that's another reason too. Like, aside from Ireland, I'd also like to visit Wales because, again, I'm sure I would have a good time there. And okay, let's see. Okay, question about Alice. What kind of hair would you say she has? The Morgans, so like long and wavy, dark hair. I would say so. It could be like wavy to straight. It's kind of like a mixture. Like it could be somewhere between straight or wavy. Like I don't think it's entirely straight, but it's not entirely wavy. It's kind of like somewhere in between those two. And that's the other thing too, like even with the Morgan, like some people will try to say the Morgan had like red hair and blue eyes, or some might even say she was blonde. But I've always connected with the Morgan. I mean, of course, there's nothing wrong with having red hair. I have it in my beard, but of course I have dark hair too. But I've always connected more with the Morgan having dark hair. That's how I see her. I think that's how some other people see her too. So. But yeah, I remember there was, you know, I watched this channel called the Irish Pagan School. I don't know if you've heard of them, but there's this couple named Laura O'Brien and John O'Sullivan, and they'll talk about the Morgan and Dagda, you know, Irish deities. And whenever I've tried to give my interpretation of them, they'll say, well, you weren't born in Ireland, and you know, you wouldn't know, you know, you're just an American or whatever. And you see what I'm saying? You know, they think they're the only ones right, and that's not true. Because obviously, if that were the case, Josephine would have said something else, but you know, that wasn't the case. So. It's almost like a Family Feud. Like I don't know if you've like seen those sitcoms like where the family's arguing. It's like, no, it's this way. No, it's that way. But that's why I feel like it's good to get, you know, other people's perspectives as well. Let's see. And the thing with the Morgan too is that there are kind of legends, or in her folklore, there are times where she will appear as like an ugly hag almost, like you know, for people who can't really see her message. But for those who can, she'll appear as like a beautiful woman with dark hair, and that's how she appeared to me. And so maybe there's something to that as well. Maybe there are some Irish people that. I don't know why they would struggle with dark hair as an example. I think that's why they use the term Black Irish. They'll say if you have dark hair, you're Black Irish. And then maybe that's why the Morgan also appears as like with dark hair as like a reminder of, you know, it's really weird. It's but because you know there are so many people in the world that have dark hair, like. In Wales, people have dark hair. Scotland, people have dark hair. Different parts of Europe. So, yeah, I don't know what they're thinking, to be honest. Let's see here. It's kind of like what people tell Bjorn. It's like you're not a Viking because you're not blonde. I'll tell them, have they ever heard of Eric the Red? You know? So, yeah. Let's see. You know, there is part of me that wishes, you know, one day Ireland and Britain will eventually heal together. 'Cause, you know, at the end of the day, you know, we have shared ancestry. I know some people don't want to hear that, especially probably some of the Irish, but it's the truth. You know, we have shared ancestry, and we can't just sweep that under the rug. You know? Okay, now I get it. Okay. So maybe I have to be a little bit quicker about it. I know I've been in this puzzle for like 10 minutes now. I swear I'm trying. Oh, here we go. Yep, somehow. I don't know. I swear I'm trying. But this puzzle's really like, you know, it's harder than I don't know why. Oh, I'm glad. If you'd like to share it on Discord, I wouldn't mind seeing it. But yeah, no, I feel like that's how Alice and also probably the. I mean, I know she's not Morrigan, but I feel like that's how she probably would have wanted to be, you know, written as. So that's why I did her that way. So. Let's see here. And people also, like in Wales and Scotland and England, should know about like that Celtic history from Ireland, because at the end of the day we're connected. And I think that's why also she wanted to be called Alice, because when I think of Alice I also think of France as well. And that'd be connected to Gaul, so. Let's see. So again, that's why I say Celtic, because I feel that way it's more inclusive. It's just a sketch and you might hate it. I don't want to ruin your character, especially seeing as she had inspirations from a goddess. No worries, not a problem, you know. We all have our own different interpretations, so I have no problem with that. Again, I'm not one of those people that are like, oh no, you have to Morrigan has to be this way or that way. No. That's not really, I don't think she's really that kind of person, so. Let's see here. I'm not gonna give up. I swear. Okay, so... Oh. We'll have to, like... go like that. We'll have to, like... No worries, not a problem. Let's see. There we go. So it's always this part that gets me. Okay, so I have to... Right, there we go. Okay, so I have to... Okay, so why? Okay, but it's if it's like that, then just Give me a sec. There's room to the crystal movement. You may need to wait for the crystal to see a line before making your move. If you miss a connection or get stuck, don't hesitate. Okay. Oh, so there's timing to the crystals too. Okay. Later. Let me see. Okay, so... Okay, oh, so those two somehow come together. Those don't want to come together. So those, okay, so those are fine. Somehow these connected. They don't always connect. Sometimes it... Oh, is it because the crystal changes? Okay. Oh, wait. Oh, that's what it is. Hold on. Oh, because of the crystals. Now I get it. Okay. So the crystals have to be matching for them to work. Okay. Is that what it is? Okay, that's what... Okay. That's what it is. Okay, now I get it. That was the whole problem I was having. Oh, we got it! Finally! After like 30 minutes. It's the crystals that I was messing up with. The crystals have to match in order for them to go through. That's what it is. I'll see if I can get you an image also, like, of what the Morgan reminds me of. Because there's a Japanese goddess, too, that made me think a little bit of the Morgan as well. See if I can find her. Let's see. I think it was... Hold on, give me a sec. So when I saw that image... Finally! Finally. It's not that hard, I just didn't realize the crystals was what it was. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can find her. Izanami. I want to see what you think, but let me see if I can find her. Okay.
No problem.
Hey, we did it!
Splendiferous! I knew you'd do it, Koopa Koopa!
Just as the light begins to fade to dark, the moaning wind sings songs to my forebodings. Am I alone with no one watching? If I do fall, will no one come to save me?
Give me a sec. Hold on. Yeah, but I'm glad I could share that with you, Rowie. I really have a multifaceted ancestry, but it's interesting how the Morrigan sometimes, even though she's talked a lot about Ireland and in the Celtic world, how sometimes I also see connections even as far away as like Japan and even parts of the Pacific Northwest, the Americas a little bit.
Take this! Scared yet?
That wasn't even a warm-up.
Yeah, no, I'm glad I could. So now if you also wondered, you know, why I say native Japanese American, I know it might sound weird to some people, but if you look at my great grandma, like she'll just, at least to me, she looks like a modern Japanese woman. And I think even Jess would say that. Well, she wouldn't say modern, she would say medieval, because even during that time there were different people coming to Japan. But yeah. But yeah, no, that was a good photo also of Alice as well. I'm glad you were able to have fun sketching her, so. Let's see here. Yeah, thanks for being nice about it. It can be really hard on myself, my arts. It's hard for me to practice because I just end up stressing about it. No worries, it's fine. You know, we all have a starting point, and however you want to interpret it, you know, it's up to you. I mean, we each have a different art form after all, so I don't mind. Again, I'm not like the Irish pagan school that's like, oh no, you know, there's, you know, you have to do it this way or else. Like, no, I'm not like that. And I don't think the Morrigan or Alice would like it like that either, honestly, deep down. But, yeah. I feel like this knowledge is meant to be shared, not to just be locked away in a little box. Yeah, I don't watch them anymore. By the way, I used to, but not anymore. It makes me think of like those wine connoisseurs that it's like, you know, if you don't get the review from me, you're wrong. It's like, well, I hate to break it to you, but you're not the only one that's right, you know. And that's one thing I like about Bjorn, is like he does talk about Odin, but he's never like, you know, this is the only way you can believe in Odin, or else. No, he's never like that. He actually enjoys people, you know, if they have Scandinavian roots, like he enjoys people connecting with that, so. And again, he does remind me a little bit of my dad, and especially a little bit of my grandfather, you know, even though I didn't meet him, my dad's dad, so. Maybe that's where the part of the Norwegian came from as well. I also like seeing parallels between different cultures. That's why, like, you know, I thought it was cool to like see like how Morgan or Alice, you know, have connection as far away as Japan, or even the Pacific Northwest, with the connection to ravens, you know.
Here.
I think there's a beauty also to dark hair as well. You know, you don't see it that often, and I usually compliment people like I think I had complimented Athena, even though she dyed her hair jet black. I thought it looked nice. I don't think she has it like that anymore, but, and also like my dental receptionist also had complimented her on the dark hair. I think she dyes it too, but it looks really good on her. Because I think nowadays a lot of people when they dye their hair it's usually blonde, which is not wrong with it, but it's nice to see like dark hair look really good on someone. And of course blonde can look good too. But you know, there's more hair colors too, you know. Yeah, I know, it looks good on you too, yeah. I think dark hair, like, when it's good, it's good. Like, people underestimate dark hair, for sure. Yeah, I think people who say, you know, blonde hair dye is the only way to go, I think they're missing out.
Looks like we lost.
Thankfully, I don't have to dye my hair. I never really felt a need to. And it's cool that I have a bit of red hair growing out of my beard too, so I can have both dark and red. Not on my head though, or on my heat as the Scottish say, but at least on my beard. I used to think my hair was jet black, and it is pretty dark, but I also have noticed over time that it's also a bit dark brown as well, so... Yeah, for sure. So. Yeah, and it's also nice to hear what a person from England thinks about all this as well, because usually I only hear like the, well, I tend, in the past I've tended to only hear the Irish perspective on Morrigan, but it's nice to hear an English perspective or a Welsh perspective or a Scottish perspective as well, you know, to see what they think. And of course, you know, not every Irish person's going to think the same, thankfully enough, but... Because as I said before, this knowledge should be shared. It shouldn't be locked away in a little box. It's kind of like, imagine if Odin only stayed in Norway and nowhere else. It's like, okay, you can connect with Odin, but only in Norway for Freya. You know, Freya. You know, you have to go to only Norway for Freya. You know, like. I mean, I think the point of the Norse, you know, is that part of what they did was they went to all these different lands and they mixed with all these different people. And of course, it wasn't always pretty. Sometimes the Norse did raid and stuff, but at least they were willing to integrate with other people. It's not like they said, okay, no, you're only going to be Norse or else. No. And I think Bjorn makes that clear as well. Like he'll say he's Norse, but he's also Celtic as well, which is cool.
Over there, Mom.
And that's why in this game you have a fusion of Norse and also Greek. You know, like Valhalla, the Norse, and then the goddess Ichiro, I think, is inspired after a Greek goddess. So it's pretty neat. But I also have enjoyed my time speaking with RPG as well, because even though he says he's not Irish, you know, he was raised by Irish, and you know, he's ethnically Norwegian, but I enjoyed my time talking to him. He seems like a pretty good fella.
Scared yet?
You got it!
You're mine!
I mean, to me, I think if you're a decent person, that's also what really matters too. Yeah, that's why it's so good to learn about other cultures, because I've learned a lot from Scandinavia, from Bjorn. I've learned a lot about Odin and a little bit about Freya and Thor and how the Norse looked at things. Then I learned my great-grandfather Cleves, that might be where the Danish Donnie ancestor came from. And that's cool too. You know? And that might be the other thing that, like, for example, some people in Britain, maybe even Ireland, they don't know is that they're not only just Celtic, but they're also Norse as well. So that's something to think about as well.
No one's hurt, right?
But I've also learned a lot about the Greeks and the Trojans as well, because it's interesting to learn about the Trojan War. I don't know if you ever read Homer's works. Of course, the Spartans, the 300 Spartans who fought against the Persians during the Battle of Thermopylae. There's a lot of interesting history there too, and honestly, I can see a lot of parallels between Greek and Norse folklore, like with Zeus and Odin and Hera and Freya and things like that. I think that's one thing I've also noticed about England. I don't know what you think, because I know you live there, but I always felt like England was very cosmopolitan. Hopefully that's the right word. Especially London. I always felt it was very cosmopolitan. But like in a good way, not always in a bad way.
That wasn't even a warm-up.
Like, I know it's, you know, sometimes there can be issues there too, but just kind of seeing all the different cultures, you know, I think is also pretty neat. Yeah. I don't know, like, I feel like maybe like the English, or at least some English, might be like more open-minded to learning about other cultures, which is honestly a good thing, because, well, that's what the Greeks did, and of course, you had the Romans, which, you know, good and bad to it, but, and then the Norse, and even the Celts as well, and it's, you know, it's not a bad thing, you know, learning about different people, because that's how you become more open-minded, and I'm sure I probably would have plenty of people that would say otherwise. That's alright, you know, fuck them. You know, that's all I have to say. No, I only say that too because
No one's hurt, right?
yeah, there's so many different cultures here. My closest friends are Filipino, Pakistani, they share the cultures. That's good to hear, yeah. And the thing is that's why too. And again, I don't know if it's a thing in England. Like, okay, I want you to tell me if this is normal in England or wherever you live. Food they give me, I love it. I'm glad to hear. So yeah, so remember I told you about Laura, right? You know, Laura O'Brien, she considers herself the de facto Morgan priestess, or at least she thinks she is, and she'll talk about how she feels like that some of the Irish, like herself, should keep the bloodline pure. And when people say stuff like that, to me it's odd, but I want to see what you think. Do people in England, do they say that as well? To me, I find it strange, but... Yeah. So, yeah. I've never heard a Scottish or Welsh person say that either, so I don't know if it's just like a personal thing or, you know, it's just really odd. Oh, that's not normal. In my opinion, if I heard a friend saying that, I'd be weirded out. Yeah, you see what I mean? So, because, again, I just didn't know, like, if that was also common, like, Wales, Scotland, or England, or even in other parts of Ireland. I'd have to see. I don't think the Irish professor that I listened to that talked about the Irish and Spanish, I don't think he'd say that. But you see what I mean? It's like stuff like that, it just... It's tough to listen to, because... you ask yourself, you know, do these people want to be inbred? Because that's what happens, you know, if you're gonna do that. I mean, look what happened to the Habsburgs. You know, they tried to do that and they got sick. And so you only have to look at history. Or even like Mormons, Israelis, you know, they miss you. And yeah, so like, I think that's another reason, yeah, that teaches, yeah, that's another reason why I just kind of stopped listening to them, because, you know, I mean, I know her partner, John O'Sullivan, he's a little bit better, but even with him, like, he talked about, you know, about one of the world wars, and they talked about the Germans, and accepting supplies from them, like English. I just had to stop after that, because it just it was tough on me. Because the other thing too is this, like, not even all the Germans, you know, think like that either. But, yeah. Here we go. see here. But I do appreciate when my Uncle Herman, he calls me Celtic Healer, because he always tells me he feels better when he listens to me, and always gives me strength. But no, like that's one thing I do appreciate about England, and if Wales and parts of Scotland are the same way too, then that's a good thing, because I think we can learn a lot from different groups of people, and yeah. So yeah, again, that's why I tell Mafi when she says, you know, she's gonna squish him. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's, you know, Mafi says, you know, instead of saying Celtic, you know, why don't you say, like, a Pacific European country? And I say, well, I have so many different European countries in me that it'd be hard to say that, like, and so that's why I tell her, I say Celtic instead. I guess it's like how the Norse, like, Bjorn, instead of saying, he does say he's Norwegian, but he also says he's Norse and Scandinavian, so he's more than just Norwegian, because that would also include, like, you know, Denmark and Sweden and all that, so. And I have some cousins from, like the guy from Denmark, I told him that I had a cousin with the last name Olsen from, I think it was Denmark or Sweden or something. It was like son of Olaf, and he thought that was cool. No, but I feel better talking to you because now I know I'm not insane. You know, it's like, what do you guys think? You know, of what they're what they're saying across the ocean in Ireland. And it's not everyone in Ireland. I don't want people to think it's everyone there, but because you know, not everyone in Ireland is like that. Yeah. It's good to get another person's perspective. Where am I going next? Let's see. Missing something. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah. You know, sometimes when I've met these people, and Bjorn does say these people, sometimes, you know, it makes me question things sometimes, but I'm glad after sharing it with you, like I can see it better now. And yeah, like the other thing too is like the Celtic matches I had in France, they were matches like, it was like a mixture, like it was like Spanish, Portuguese, North Italian, French, South Dutch, and then sometimes it'd also be like close to like Wales and Southwest England as well, so it wasn't like that far away, because again, back then the Celtic world would have been more connected. So that's why when people say, like even parts of England, they say, you know, you're not Celtic, you know, keep your Spanish noses out of England. I would say, first off, you know, you're not, just like with the Irish, you're not the only one entitled to what Celtic is. And second off, they had, you know, they were connected to many different kinds of people, you know, from other parts of Europe. And, yeah. But yeah, I've met people like that, not only from Ireland, but even like parts of England. Like they'll try to fight me and say, you know, they have this such like a narrow perspective of what Celtic is. Or even Norse, like I told you with Bjorn, it's like, oh, you're not blonde, you're not real Norse. Yeah. So.
See ya.
No one's hurt, right?
And I find a lot of similarities with me and Bjorn, because I feel like just like how a lot of people try to get under my skin about this also happens with Bjorn as well. Where they'll also tell him that they believe the Earth is flat and that the Earth is not a sphere. You know, they'll literally tell him that on his channel, where they'll say you're going to hell because you believe in Odin. You know? I'm not kidding you. Like that's what they do. And then Bjorn will always be like these people, and I'm like, I understand Bjorn.
This one's mine.
And then he'll make a joke if you have an IQ higher than your shoe number. then you would have known that the Norse ships didn't just fall off the face of the planet when they went to the New World. Yeah, for sure. But they'll literally do that, or I'm trying to think of something that they told him. Like they said you should fight the immigrants instead of reenacting being a Norseman. And then he would say, first off, I'm not reenacting. I made that bow. Like he made like a Norse longbow, like handcrafted. Like I think he got wood and like he crafted it himself, which is pretty cool actually. And then he'll talk about, you know, well, the Norsemen were also emigrated to different parts of the world too, because well, they a lot of them, they were raiders, but some of them were also farmers as well, so they would go to different parts of Europe, and some of them would settle there. So, you know, I even find it more funny with the Norse, like when they do that with them, because it's bad enough with like Celtic or even like some of the Irish or even English, but when it comes to the Norse, it's like he lives in Norway, he was born in Norway, and yet you're telling him he's not a, and he has Norse ancestry, and yet you're telling him he's not a descendant of the Vikings or the Norsemen. Sometimes you can't help but laugh, you know, and that's what I remember, or that's what I try to keep in mind when I see Bjorn and myself. You know, he never told me, you know, you got to be pure Norse to be, you know, to be one of us. So he's, you know, if you feel connected, then that's good enough. Yeah, I'm trying to think of something else they told him. Yeah.
No one's hurt, right?
Oh yeah, there's plenty of people on his channel that when Bjorn whenever he criticizes the Orange Man who's currently leading our country, you know, they'll say, you praise the Norse, but why don't you praise the Orange Man that's our leader? Why do you criticize him? You know, how dare you? And I can't help but laugh, you know? It's funny. Like one person said to Bjorn, the Orange Man is the best thing that's happened to our country. And you should believe that too. and then Bjorn says, you know what the fuck, you know what the fuck. And I can't help but laugh. That's funny. But yeah. Okay, let me see where I have to go to next. It's been a good laugh though. I think Bjorn said something on one of his videos that if you watch the end of this video, then the gods of Valhalla will sing or you know, something. It's pretty interesting. Okay, I'm gonna use the restroom for a wee bit, and then I'll play a little bit more, and then I might end the stream eventually, because we've been going on for how many hours? Almost, wow, over 3 hours. Okay, I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. Just got some more water. Use the restroom. Now we can play a wee bit more. I feel better now too. Okay, let me oh shoot. Okay, no, the mic's working. Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Alright, no, we're all set to go. Hopefully the game didn't freeze. Let's see. Oh, no, it's fine. Oh, I remember earlier you were talking about your Filipino friend. Okay, so I will tell you, I don't live in Florida anymore. I used to live in Northeast Florida, which is like south of Georgia. But when I lived there, my mom had a Filipino friend that made the best Filipino barbecue. I don't know if you've had Korean barbecue before, but Filipino barbecue definitely is, I think could compete, because with how much people talk about Korean barbecue, Filipino barbecue was also excellent. So, and that made me think of when you spoke about your Filipino friend. I don't know if I've had Pakistani food though, but I have had Indian food. But yeah, like Pakistani food, like how is it exactly? Is it similar to Indian food, or is it a little bit different? I don't want to start a rivalry between them. Pakistan and India, and I don't it's funny.
Good work, everyone.
Okay, what caused the paradox? I haven't had either, but I want to so bad. There are no places in town though. Oh, sorry to hear. What places do you guys have over there to eat? I don't really eat out that much. I mainly eat at home, but there's something. Okay, what am I missing? I don't want to keep grinding forever. Oh, there it is. Oh, you're kind of like me then. I'm also kind of like that way as well. I mainly go out when I go get groceries or drop off mail. Those are the main times.
Another head scratcher.
Okay, now I know how to do it though. Okay. Wait, hold on. Okay, we'll just... I love puzzles, by the way. I used to do them a lot when I was young, but now that I understand how to do these puzzles, they're not so bad anymore. You see, now I'm not stuck in the same puzzle for 30 minutes now, Roey. But hopefully I got your name right, by the way. No, I may not have asked you before. Hopefully I pronounced it right. you're learning. So actually there might be barbecue places here I wouldn't know about. Oh, there might be. Oh, I appreciate it, yeah. Just don't want to get that, it's kind of like that, with the lady from England that she got really upset about, and that wasn't even about England, it was about Scotland of all places. Just a nickname for Rowan. Rowan? Yeah. Oh, Rowena sounds like a name for Final Fantasy XIV, actually. But yeah, so I think Rowan, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, that's the name of a tree, right? Rowan? Like a Rowan tree, I think? Oh, that's pretty cool. There we go. All right. So, because the reason why I know that, I think I know that too, is because of the, I think for some traditions, Celtic paganism, they have zodiac signs for the different trees that are scattered, typically I think around Gaul, around Western Europe. So I think it might even include Greece as well. But we'll have to see. This is good. Oh, the berries grow on rowan bushes and trees. That's cool. There we go. Well, these are almost like constellations in a way.
You solved the paradox, Kupo.
Right on schedule. Now we find the gate and its artifact.
There might be other things to discover too. Looks like everything's
There we go.
Just as the light begins to fade to dark, the moaning wind sings songs to my forebodings, and I alone with no one but you. If I do fall,
Wait, what the heck? I was looking at the Celtic Connections Pro and found something that describes me so well, even matching up with my birthday. See, I told you, because that's why I say Celtic, because Celtic, again, it's not just Irish, it's not even just Scottish. Well, the Scottish also have a connection to Norse too, but especially if you go to, I think it's like the Shetland Isles and Orkney. But yeah, no, it can also include Wales, it can also include England as well, because a lot of Celtic tribes were in England even before Anglo-Saxons and even after. It's not like the English became 100% Anglo-Saxons, or I hope not, but you know, people mixed, you know. And the same thing is true for France, for Spain, for Portugal, parts of Germany even, usually in the south, Belgium. My dad always said he was part Belgium, I can see now. Parts of the Netherlands, Switzerland, even the part of the Balkans, you know. Oh, nice. Let me see here. These Celts know what's going on. You probably have a bit of Celtic in you, Rowan, or Rowie, or you might not even know it, you know. I mean, I don't know if in England, if most people think they're just Anglo-Saxon and that's it, like here in the States, but yeah, probably, most likely probably have some of it too. Yeah, I don't know how it is over there. I know in the U.S. a lot of people say if they're English, they'll of English descent, they'll say Anglo-Saxon, but I don't know how it is here. I mean, or over there rather. Yeah, you know, the website I use for my ancestry, if you're interested, Rowie, if you haven't even taken a DNA test yet, is that it piques your interest, is My True Ancestry. It's a company based in Switzerland, but they kind of compare you to like ancient civilizations, and that's how I learned a lot about my Celtic connection, or Gallo-Celtic, because, well, Gallo-Celtic just means Celts were involved, so that would include like France, Belgium, Netherlands, even parts of Spain, that area, Switzerland, Italy. Well, yeah, I had a ton of Gallo-Celtic, like a ton. That's how I found out about it. And again, it wasn't just one group, it was like a mix again of like Spanish, South Dutch, French, Flemish, which would include also Belgium. So I guess Flemish really means like Dutch-speaking people, Belgium, yeah. Sometimes it would include like German too, like Belgian. I'm just lazy for that, it would be cool to know. So yeah, for sure. Well, hey, you know, every place has a history. Again, like, it makes sense that England would have really a connection to the Celts too, because it's not like the Anglo-Saxons were the only ones there, you know? Let's, yeah, find out what happened. Okay. Okay, let me check. that's the thing with this game that's a little bit different than 14. It's or not 14, 13. First game. It's a little harder to avoid these guys. They pop out of nowhere.
Take that! But you lost.
Okay, what's here? Oh, a chest.
Just as the light begins to fade to dark, the moaning wind sings songs to my forebodings. Am I alone with no one watching? If I do fall, will no one come to save
This one's mine!
You're mine! No way!
Let me see. I'm gonna open a folklore channel. Just for, you know, any discussions about paganism or anything like that. That's another, just as another avenue, another channel. Yeah, because it's always interesting to learn about, you know, different folklore, different mythology, different, you know, spirituality, you know.
Retail
just
therapy is
other
a great stress reliever.
or different regions around the world, you know.
I really hope to see you back here soon.
Take this! You got it!
That's it!
This one's mine!
It doesn't mean that we have to believe that holds burdens weigh me down. Oh, this is true, but they bring light that
Oh, did I go? Go back here? Oh, it's just over here. Oh, we got more in there.
like an oracle drive.
Yeah.
Stop.
Oh, there she is.
Sarah!
Lightning. Lightning. Sarah, I'm sorry.
Hey, the apologies can wait. We got a wedding to plan, right? Right? Like, come on. What do you say? Lightning, I swear to you, we'll make her happy.
I believe you.
My memories. They're real, aren't they? Who can they be? Prophecy. It's been changed.
But that's impossible.
If you change the future, you change the past.
It keeps changing?
There he is.
Change is the constant.
Mr. Soul Edge.
Caius.
I have seen you. I have seen you both.
Yule.
What? You mean Asiris?
I am not the Yule you know.
You must understand, there are many Yules.
Caius.
Wait. I saw you. My sister was fighting you.
What are you doing here in this time?
I learned of your journey, leaping back and forth along the timeline. Yule has been watching everything you do.
No. She's been watching us?
Yes. I see you understand the significance of that. Then you must also understand that I am here for a reason. Your actions have necessitated the strictest sanctions.
Hey, hold on a second. What do you mean, sanctions?
I must protect the sanctity of the timeline.
Let's not escape!
Here!
Caius!
Yep. Apparently. Trying to see if I can keep talking.
This'll do.
Got a poison.
You're mine. So weak. You shall pay for your crimes in blood.
stop this, Caius. I am not going to fight you.
Times have changed. I'm not the Caius you once knew. To change history is a sin.
It's too late. The timeline has already changed.
But must we accept this, Yule?
If you change the future, you change the past. You can remold history as your heart desires.
Let's go now, before you are made to witness more. Come.
That's another artifact.
Yule.
We got a 5-star rating, great. Good. Great.
Poo-poo? An artifact, Poo-poo!
What does Caius want?
No.
Paradox is solved and an artifact has appeared, but questions still remain.
That girl, Yule. She seemed to know all about the Oracle Drive. Did she come to solve the paradox too?
No, I think she came to... Wait a sec, something's not right.
What? What's wrong?
Sorry, it's nothing. Just nerves getting to me. I thought maybe I was forgetting something really important.
Wait, let me see. It's spooky. I always love the music for the Chocobo theme. Maybe one day I'll consider an idea for it.
Over there, Mog. Giddy up.
At least the Chocobo helped us. Not yet. Eventually. I don't know what that is though, but whenever it happens, that'd be great. I'm pronouncing this right. Dai is the mortal enemy of the giant Gomaga. Legends say that in order to exact revenge against Gogmogag, they caused him to be banished from his homeland. Dai cursed Gogmogag to wander forever in the rest between areas. Dai loathes all things that live in this world, and when he is defeated, he twists the surroundings of space-time in an effort to take his enemies from him to death. Moogle Confidential. Ever wondered how Moogles fly so fine in the sky? It's all thanks to our magic baubles, Kupo. They're made of crystal, Kupo, and they conjure up an anti-gravity field that never lets us down. Little wings are just for show, so people won't get jealous of our brilliant baubles. Now you know something that no one else knows, Kupo. Tick-tock, the Moogle clock runs on clockwork, Kupo. If I forget to wind it up, it'll stop dead and we'll be in untimely trouble. You want to know something really super secret. My Moogle body's actually a puppet, and the real me is inside the clock. I'm totally, absolutely telling the truth, kind of. That's to everything that Lightning tells me, Kupo. Everything. In Valhalla, the losers obey the winners. It's the law, Kupo. When did I fight Lightning, you ask? In Valhalla, of course. It was an exciting duel. He threw down scissors 3 times in a row, Kupo. I was expecting that maybe I should have been source after all, Kupo. Right, I think after we go to the next area, I think I'm gonna end this stream because we've been going on for almost 4 hours. Long time, but definitely worth it.
She was the same. The same face, the same voice. But even so, she didn't know me at all.
You mean you?
Yes. Well, no questions?
I was upset about you. He wonders why I don't ask him about her. What should I say to him? It's hard for you to answer. Sorry, I drifted off. I won't ask.
Seems to me that if I ask, you'd have a hard time trying to answer. I know what it feels like, not being able to explain how you feel, so I won't ask.
Thanks, Sarah. We'll talk about it soon.
Sure. Lightning, Noel and I traveled to Erba. You wouldn't believe how much happened to us there. We found a prophecy that the seers of the Farseers had recorded. We saw a young girl called Yule, just like the Seeress. And we met a man named Caius, the man you were fighting in my dream. I guess what worries me the most, though, is that Noel looks sad. Sadder than I've ever seen him. And there's something else, too. The strange thing that both Caius and Yule said about the past. If you change the future, you change the past. I'm afraid of what that might mean for us. When Noel and I solved the paradox, we changed the future. Does that mean the past of Hope and the others has also changed?
Ooh. Thanks to Sarah Noel, a new timeline has been created. When a parallel world is unlocked, the years and replaced with an X. For example, 1 times AF is 10 years after the fall of Cocoon, same as 10 AF. People have different memories as they've led different lives. So return to the original date and location anytime by using it in Custodia Prox. I think this is a good place to stop for now. We've done quite a bit today, so So I'll save this for I guess for next stream. All right. Hope you guys take care, and I can still talk on Discord, but I'll probably deliver some orders here soon since the sun's going down. Bye for now.